5 YouTubers. 5 untimely tragedies that left millions of fans heartbroken and stunned. Each of them set out with passion, determination, and a desire to share their adventures with the world. But in the blink of an eye, their journeys ended in disaster. From daring stunts to breathtaking explorations, their final moments remind us how fragile life can be. Join us as we uncover these haunting stories and ask the timeless question, what price do we pay for chasing our dreams?
Gone wrong. A man shot someone during what police are calling a fake robbery. They say it was all for YouTube video.
February 5th, 2021, was supposed to be a typical evening at Urban Air Adventure Park in Nashville. The venue, known for family-friendly fun, was filled with people enjoying themselves, unaware that tragedy was about to strike in a way no one could have predicted. That night would spark heated debate about social media responsibility and the thin, dangerous line between entertainment and real danger. Timothy Wilkes was a soft-spoken, responsible 20-year-old. He had worked at Walmart for several years and was attending school to pursue a career in HVAC, heating, ventilation, and air conditioning. But alongside his steady ambitions, Timothy harbored another passion, YouTube. On that fateful February night, he set out with a friend to film a video, part of a growing trend of prank content that often pushes the limits of what's funny and what's frightening. Their idea was to stage a fake robbery, hoping to capture the startled reactions of strangers on camera, a concept that had gained millions of views across the platform. They chose the parking lot of Urban Air as the backdrop, with families inside enjoying the attractions, completely unaware of the nightmare unfolding just outside. As Timothy and his friend approached a group of people, carrying butcher knives meant to sell the illusion, the prank took a terrifying turn. The knives were not props. They were real, sharp, and terrifying to anyone on the receiving end. What was meant as a prank looked and felt exactly like an armed robbery. Among the group was 23-year-old David Starnes Jr., who had no idea what was really happening. Faced with what he believed was a real threat to his life and the lives of others, Starnes drew his gun and fired, killing Timothy on the spot. When police arrived, Starnes immediately explained that he had acted in self-defense. He had no way of knowing it was a staged prank. Witnesses confirmed that Timothy and his friend had been filming for a YouTube video. The authorities, after investigating, chose not to file charges against Starnes, ruling that he acted to protect himself and those around him. Timothy's death shattered his family. His grandmother, Shirley Berry, spoke out in grief, describing the pain of losing her grandson and her confusion over how it had all happened. She had no idea Timothy was filming YouTube pranks, and the news came as a devastating shock. Through her heartbreak, she urged other families to stay aware of what their children are doing online. She hoped that Timothy's story would serve as a cautionary tale, a reminder that the pursuit of online fame can have deadly consequences. What happened that night was the result of poor judgment, fear, and a tragic misunderstanding. A young man with so much ahead of him was gone in an instant, and another would forever carry the weight of having taken a life, even in self-defense. Timothy Wilkes is remembered as a respectful, serious young man, a role model to his younger siblings, whose life ended far too soon. It was the kind of stunt that Nishu Deswal had performed countless times before, the kind that had brought him millions of views and a loyal fan base. But this time was different. This time something went horribly wrong. In an instant, Nishu's life, dedicated to creating thrilling and dangerous content for his millions of followers, came to a tragic end. Nishu Deswal wasn't just another social media influencer. With more than 1.5 million YouTube subscribers and 1.3 million Instagram followers, he had built an online empire that thrived on adrenaline. His content wasn't about pranks or comedy. Nishu specialized in high-risk stunts involving large, heavy vehicles on treacherous terrain. His daring feats captivated audiences around the world, racking up over 300 million views. One of his most popular videos alone had drawn in 25 million views. But that fame came with a price, a growing appetite for danger that eventually proved fatal. Nishu's stunts often featured massive tractors, which he would maneuver across unstable ground, balancing them on 2 wheels or attempting complex tricks that defied belief. For 3 years, fans watched in amazement as he pushed both the machines and his own skills to their limits. But on that fateful Wednesday, the danger became all too real. That day, Nishu attempted one of his signature moves, lifting the front wheels of a heavy tractor into the air and balancing it on its rear wheels. But the ground beneath him was loose and treacherous, adding another layer of risk. Though he had pulled off similar feats before, this time the rear wheels lost grip on the unstable soil. The tractor tipped dangerously backward, teetering for a moment before flipping over completely. In seconds, the full weight of the machine came crashing down, trapping Nishu beneath its metal frame. His friends, who had been filming the stunt, could only watch in horror as the tragedy unfolded before their eyes. The loss sent shockwaves through his fan base and the wider community. Nishu was just 22 years old, a young man with a wife and a 6-month-old baby left behind. Although his audience was used to watching him walk the razor's edge of danger, few believed the risks would ever catch up with him in such a devastating way. As fans mourned his death, questions began to swirl. Many pointed to potential mechanical failures. Some speculated that the tractor's rollover protection system, designed to save lives in just such an event, had failed completely. Others suggested aftermarket modifications may have been to blame, or that tractors simply weren't built for the kinds of stunts Nishu attempted. The combination of unstable terrain, weight imbalance, and the immense strain on the vehicle created the perfect conditions for disaster. What happened that day on the riverbank in Panipat was the tragic result of years spent chasing online fame through ever more dangerous feats. Nishu Deswal's death stands as a grim reminder of how high the cost can be when entertainment crosses into life-threatening territory.
A rising reality star's tragic accident has left family and fans reeling tonight. A vibrant fitness expert known for living life to the fullest, killed by an oncoming train while filming.
In January 2015, fitness model and actor George Gregory Plitt Jr., better known as Greg Plitt, was no stranger to daring videos. The 37-year-old lived fearlessly, a trait that shone through in the content he created for his fans. But on January 17th, what began as just another shoot ended in heartbreaking tragedy, leaving family, friends, and followers in shock. Greg Plitt was larger than life, inspiring millions with his incredible physique, unshakable discipline, and boundless energy. A West Point graduate and former Army Ranger, he had served his country for 5 years, a testament to his dedication and strength. His military service shaped him into a man who embraced challenge, and that confidence became a defining part of who he was. After leaving the Army, Plitt built a career in fitness and modeling, appearing on more than 250 fitness magazine covers and becoming one of the most recognizable figures in the industry. He wasn't just a model, he was an actor too, with roles on Bravo's Workout and NBC's Days of Our Lives. His powerful physique even inspired the look of Dr. Manhattan in the 2009 film Watchmen. Fans admired him for his relentless work ethic, and Plitt was always ready to motivate, pushing himself and others to new heights. But that same drive to push the limits would ultimately lead to disaster. On January 17, 2015, Plitt and 2 crew members set up on railroad tracks in Burbank, California, to film a promotional video for an energy drink. It wasn't the first time he'd filmed there. In the past, Plitt had shot videos of himself working out on the tracks as trains passed by in the background. This time, though, things went horribly wrong. Plitt started running alongside the tracks, focused on getting the perfect shot, seemingly unaware that a southbound Metrolink commuter train was approaching from behind. A man who had jumped from planes over 1,000 times, who had scaled cliffs and lived for adrenaline, Plitt was no stranger to risk. But this time, his confidence led to a fatal mistake. When the train's horn blared, Plitt and his team may have believed it was on a parallel track. He kept running, convinced he was safe, but he wasn't. He was directly in the path of the train. In a split second, what had been a high-energy shoot turned into a nightmare. Plitt tried to escape at the last moment, but it was too late. The engineer hit the emergency brakes, but the train couldn't stop in time. It struck Plitt, killing him almost instantly. The horrifying moment was captured on the train's onboard cameras. In the aftermath, those closest to Plitt struggled to understand how such a vibrant, determined man could be lost so suddenly. His girlfriend, Christina Steichel, described through tears how he had been trying to get the best shot, a reflection of the intense passion that fueled everything he did. His death was ruled a tragic accident. Investigators revealed that the shoot had taken place without permits or safety measures, on a section of track where no one had permission to be. The tragedy raised painful questions about why such dangerous risks had been taken without precautions. Greg Plitt's life, filled with adventure and achievement, ended in a moment of misjudgment. His story remains a sobering reminder of how even the strongest, most experienced people can fall victim to the dangers of pushing too far in the pursuit of greatness. It was July 2021, and Albert Dand was on another one of his adventures. At 22 years old, Albert was a beloved Danish YouTuber known for his fun personality and creative content. That July, his work had brought him to the Italian Alps, where he planned to film a video for his channel on the K Mountain. But Albert never got to shoot his video. Instead, a devastating accident claimed his life. Albert's rise to prominence began in 2016 when he joined YouTube and started sharing a range of content, from comedy sketches to music videos. Over the years, he amassed a large following, with more than 170,000 subscribers on YouTube and over 230,000 followers on Instagram. His energetic and often unconventional approach to entertainment resonated with viewers who were drawn to his humor, creativity, and adventurous spirit. In 2018, he even ventured into acting, starring in the comedy film Team Albert, a story about a high schooler's quest to become a YouTube sensation. The film was well received and won the Blockbuster Audience Award at the Danish Film Awards in 2019, further solidifying Albert's place in the Danish entertainment industry. Despite his lighthearted content, Albert was known to push the boundaries in his videos, often involving stunts and risk-taking. Some of his content stirred controversy for its daring nature, including moments where he shaved his head or licked snails for the camera. But these antics were part of what made him popular among a younger audience seeking bold, unapologetic entertainment. His work reflected his playful yet fearless attitude towards life, a trait that endeared him to many. Fans adored his willingness to take risks, but sadly, the same daring nature led to the accident that claimed his life. On July 28, 2021, Albert was filming in the Italian Alps, specifically on Mount Cicada in Val Gardena, a region known for its dramatic cliffs and towering peaks. Accompanied by friends, he was attempting to capture footage for his channel on a hiking route with steep, rocky slopes. As he filmed on the mountain, something went wrong. Maybe it was because of inattention, or maybe it was because of recklessness. He was filming on a hiking trail that links two mountain peaks, a trail that was steep, deep, and rocky. In an instant, the unimaginable happened. Albert stumbled and fell from a staggering height of 656 feet. His friends immediately alerted the authorities, and a rescue helicopter was dispatched instantly. But the rescue operation was complicated by difficult conditions, including dense fog. When rescuers finally reached Albert, he was pronounced dead at the scene. According to reports, his death occurred in a matter of seconds. Friends, fellow creators, and fans expressed their grief online. Many tributes poured in for the young YouTuber, with Danish social media personalities sharing heartfelt messages in his honor. As those who knew him mourned his passing, they also celebrated the joy he brought into the lives of many. Albert Dand's memory lives on through his videos, a lasting testament to his creativity as well as his humor. The online community was struck by tragedy in July 2019 when Grant Thompson, the star and creator of the popular YouTube channel, The King of Random, lost his life in a baffling accident. At 38 years old, Thompson was known for his inventive and often daring content, blending science experiments with creative hands-on projects. His death shocked millions of fans who had grown to admire his curiosity, enthusiasm, and adventurous spirit. Grant Thompson's journey to viral fame began in an unexpected place. Born in 1980, he worked as a commercial airline pilot in Farmington, Utah, but at 29, his fascination with understanding how things worked began to grow. In his spare time, he tinkered with random household objects, exploring basic scientific principles through playful experiments. What started as a hobby soon caught the attention of his friends and family, who encouraged him to document and share his experiments online. In January 2010, Thompson launched his YouTube channel. At first, it was just a side project, but by 2011, he was dedicating more energy to creating videos focused on life hacks, DIY projects, and science experiments. A friend had jokingly called him the King of Random, a nickname that would become the identity of his brand. By 2012, the King of Random channel was steadily gaining momentum. Viewers were drawn to Thompson's mix of practical innovation and fun science. His relatable explanations and infectious energy turned his channel into a go-to destination for those curious about how everyday things worked. Over the years, the channel grew to more than 11 million subscribers and racked up over 2.5 billion views. His videos covered a wide range of quirky experiments and hands-on projects, from making homemade fireworks to testing the strength of duct tape. His creative approach to science captured the imaginations of viewers across the globe. Thompson's work sometimes put him at odds with local authorities in Utah, especially when his experiments involved large quantities of materials or backyard tests that drew complaints. But these challenges never dampened his passion for discovery. By 2019, he had become a well-known figure in the YouTube community, inspiring millions while staying deeply committed to his family, including his wife and 4 sons. In the months before his death, Thompson had begun to scale back his involvement with the channel so he could spend more time with his loved ones. But his adventurous spirit never left him. On July 29, 2019, Thompson set out on a paragliding trip near Sand Hollow State Park in Hurricane, Utah. He had only taken up paragliding about 5 months earlier, drawn to the thrill that matched the daring nature of his career. When he failed to return home that evening, his family alerted authorities. A search began, and officials tracked Thompson's GPS device to his last known location. Eventually, rescuers made a heartbreaking discovery. They found Thompson's body along with his paragliding equipment in a rugged, isolated part of the park. A medical helicopter was sent to recover his remains. Video footage from his own recording device revealed the moments before the fatal accident. Investigators determined that a sudden change in wind caused an updraft that collapsed his parachute. Thompson tried to deploy his reserve chute, but at about 100 feet from the ground, there wasn't enough time for it to open fully. He died on impact just 4 seconds after the malfunction began. The day after his death, his team posted a tribute video titled Grant Thompson, in memoriam on his channel, honoring the man who had inspired a global community with his passion for curiosity, learning, and exploration.